chamber to the people. Let the voices ring. Laws are made. Debates take the wing.
I know we are going to be reposed with responsibilities.
Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Watch the Senate and the House of Representatives, where decisions flow. The Parliament, the place to know. The Parliament, see power at play. The Parliament, your window into democracy at work, only on Global Television. Hello and welcome to your parliamentary program, The Parliament, which deliberates on legislative policies from the chambers of the National Assembly to the voices shaping Nigeria's democratic journey. Welcome. I am Anieti Patrick. Each week, we bring you the latest decisions, debates, and developments from the heart of the legislature, the bills shaping national policy, the motions addressing citizens' concerns, and the oversight actions holding government accountable. On this episode, as part of strategic response to the country's security challenges, the Senate screened and confirmed General Christopher Musa as Defense Minister, the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff. The Senate approved the appointments of the former Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, as Minister of Defense following a 5-hour questioning by lawmakers. General Musa was approved by lawmakers in the Senate chambers after his screening, just a day after President Bola Tinubu put forward his nomination for the role.
We applaud Mr. President for your nomination. We have a lot of hope in you based on your track record. But a few questions are begging for answers. The Senate has just set up a committee to find out from the cry of the governor of Kebbi, who gave the order for the soldiers who had prior information that kidnappers were coming to the school, MAGA. And they went there and they even took the students to the field and taught the students what they will do when the kidnappers come. But 30 minutes before the kidnappers arrived, somebody gave order for the soldiers to withdraw from the school. And the kidnappers came and operated, and children were packed away. And the governor raised alarm all over. As the Chief of Defense Staff, former, now a nominee for the office of Minister of Defense, I want you to know that this Senate has set up a committee to investigate who gave that order and why they withdrew to give access to kidnappers to take those children unhindered. It's something that people would like to hear from you. And as we speak now, Brigadier General Oba has not been found, whether he's killed or not killed. He made a phone call to disclose his location. Who gave those coordinates for the kidnappers or the terrorists to go and pick him? Those are questions begging for answers. And then somebody like you are highly placed in security service. You have been everywhere. You have attained all the ranks. You come before the Senate and somebody is saying, take a bow and go. When you take a bow and go, where is Brigadier General Oba? When you take a bow and go, where are the children? How are we going to get the children back? You should make a statement on that. Please, I would not want us to ridicule the nomination of the president. The president knows why he brought him. And he has ideas of why he brought him. Let him also tell Nigerians what he will do in that regard. He doesn't need to disclose the strategy.
The issue of kidnapping of students is very unfortunate. But I think since last year, the Safe School initiative was carried out. I think we need to look at it critically and make sure that it is holistic in its approach. Now, we must build the resilience of our communities. because crime is localized. We're able to build the capacity of the locals themselves to be the first responder, because when they come, since security agencies cannot be everywhere, it's good we build them. Our schools must be secured. You see, most of the schools that have been built, you go and visit them, no perimeter fence, they are left exposed. Information conveyance, again, has been an issue. Before these informations are relayed, the use of technology. So, sir, we're going to make sure that we do a whole of society approach into addressing this issue of kidnapping of school. With technology, working together with the armed forces, the police, and other security agencies, and the communities. I think that's where the gap has been. We will be able to address that properly. I'll be able to also secure these children and to stop issues of kidnapping all over the country. In our neighboring countries, Cameroon, Chad, Niger, Benin Republic, we need to also reach out to them, because if they're able to secure their own borders, it means our own borders will be secured. If theirs is porous, ours is going to be porous. And because we have more to lose, the terrorists that we're dealing with think Nigeria is so rich that when they come to Nigeria, they can make it. So anything they are doing anywhere, their target, end state, is to come into Nigeria. And that's why it's important that we must make sure that we secure our borders and deny them the entry. And then those ones that are within, we're able to take them out. I think one basic area we're also going to look at is accountability of the armed forces. Whatever funds is being made, we want to make sure that the funds are properly utilized. And I think that is very critical, so that we can make sure that whatever it is we're getting are things that will help us and assist us in the members of the armed forces in carrying out their action. What we have observed over time is that with the MDAs, we have not really been able to get the full support of the MDAs. I think one mistake we make is we think the armed forces can solve all the problems. The armed forces solution is just 20-25%. Majority has to do with good governance, building capacity, working together with all the other MDAs. The police has a lot to contribute. Civil defense, all other agencies, including Foreign Service, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Interior. So we need to harmonize all this diplomatically. Most of our laws look obsolete, and because sometimes justice is delayed, then it becomes a problem. Because once punishment is meted immediately and action is done, it serves as deterrence to others. And that's why I think critical that we must be. And so I mentioned that all the MDAs need to do the legal service, the correctional service, the civil defense, all mining activities have to be monitored properly, because that's another source of funding. All areas that they are getting their funds for, we must look at those aspects and stop and prevent them. And like we said, sir, the ability to also monitor where the funds are going to. If we're able to do that holistically using technology, sir, we'll achieve so much.
Musa's nomination followed the decision of former Minister of Defense Mohammed Baduru to resign from his position due to what he described or ascribed to health issues. Consequently, President Bola Tinubu nominated the former defense chief as the new Minister of Defense via a letter transmitted to the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio. Let's take a cue.
Distinguished colleagues, the Senate, the Committee of the Whole, considered the request of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces for the confirmation of General Christopher Musa for appointment as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The nominee, General Musa, answered questions from distinguished senators on security matters and a number of topical issues. And thereafter, the Committee of the Whole approved the nomination of General Christopher Musa as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate now confirm General Christopher Musa as the Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of General Christopher Musa is hereby confirmed as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I wish him well in his new endeavor and pray that his actions will add value to ensuring that we minimize insecurity in the country and then bring the current security situation that tends to worry a lot of Nigerians to an end. I congratulate both the nominee as well as the appointer, Mr. President, and I congratulate the Senate for doing a great job.
My immediate priority is to make sure that defense takes its place fully in the country. The synergy between the armed forces, and other security agencies, and all Nigerians being carried along, as we have always said, that security is everybody's responsibility. It is that synergy that we need to build on and work on it, and that's what we're going to. And I can assure you, within the shortest possible time, Nigerians will see results.
Also, amidst rising national security challenges, the Senate has announced a major reshuffle of its standing committees, fulfilling a promise to strengthen oversight and improve responses to security threats. The chairman of the committee and president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, made the announcement during plenary session on the floor of the Red Chamber.
Senator Yahya Abdullahi of Kebbi State has been named chairman of the Senate Committee on National Security and Intelligence. He replaces Senator Shehu Buba from Bauchi State, who is now chairman, Committee on Livestock and Animal Husbandry. Additionally, changes were made in the Senate Committee on Air Force, where Senate Minority Whip Senator Osita Ogu of Enugu State is now the acting chairman.
On selection, met and the new chairman of the Senate Committee on Livestock and Animal Husbandry is the distinguished Senator Shehu Buba, and the committee chairman on National Intelligence and National Security is the distinguished Senator Abdullahi Yahya, CON. Then we have acting chairman on Committee on Air Force, the distinguished Senator Osita Ogu. I will then the committee chairman on national planning will be the distinguished Senator Mustafa. The distinguished Senator Musa Mustafa, he will now be the new chairman on committee on national planning. I will give you the composition of your members with the vice tomorrow.
Senate leadership emphasized that the reconstitution aims to enhance its capacity to oversee national security matters more effectively amid the evolving security landscape.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives is demanding tougher action against insecurity, including publicly naming those financing terrorism, banditry, and kidnappings across the country. At plenary, lawmakers adopted the outcome of last week's extensive national security debate, a session that reviewed Nigeria's worsening wave of attacks, school adoptions, and banditry. The House is now asking the federal government to publicly name, sanction, and prosecute all financiers of terrorism and kidnapping.
So what I'm trying to say, you can see that those who are also going to be exempted, maybe one person would be engaged with 10 police officers, which is irrelevant. We need to specifically mention at least not to exceed 2 or 3 or even 1.
It's virtually just go into the website to apply. But we want to restrict it now. We may bring out some bottlenecks that at the end of the day, there will be casualties. And a little contribution, which he is aware, his axis, once suffered the consequences of Boko Haram.
Lawmakers insist that terrorism-related prosecutions must be open, expeditious, and transparent. They are also calling for a special court dedicated to trying terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping cases, and for stricter penalties for illegal arms trafficking.
It's better we go by the president's directives that they should disband the SPU and all police escorts should be withdrawn for everyone.
Suggesting that we can put a strengthened and well-funded victim support system for victims of whatever is the intent of the lawmakers here.
The question is now open to the House. Those in support that we adopt this recommendation as a working instrument of the House, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. But these documents, recommendation becomes resolution and it's a working instrument of the Parliament. We also resolve that these particular documents should be transmitted immediately to the Senate for their concurrence.
The chamber says it's more than 40 security recommendations will be forwarded to the Senate for concurrence and then transmitted to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and relevant security agencies. Also, the House of Representatives has raised fresh alarm over worsening insecurity in Zamfara State following a series of deadly attacks by armed bandits across multiple communities. The lawmaker representing Safe Gusau Federal Constituency in Zamfara State, Kabir Amadu, noted that the Constitution clearly places security and welfare of citizens as a primary responsibility of the government, but insisted that ongoing attacks show a dire situation requiring urgent action. In an exclusive interview with Global TV, Kabir Amadu called on the federal government to put an end to ransom negotiation with bandits.
From Zamfara State for over 2 decades, we have been dwelling on this issue of insecurity. And in my constituency, which is Gusau, I think 7 communities. Last month, the bandit invaded the communities, almost 7 communities, and they imposed illegal taxes amounting to 100 million naira to them. Also, on that same time, they kidnapped almost 120 people. They killed 13. That's the reason why I came up with that motion, because the people in that particular communities are living in agony and also living in fear. After they kidnap you, they also impose levy to the community. Even if you are not kidnapped, you have to pay that kind of levy. And they have been operating for 2 weeks from one community to another. And there is no any drastical challenge from security agencies or any other. No, they have been moving freely, carrying their weapons, and nothing happens to them, doing what they want to do. So the situation is very, very pathetic. From last week to this week, so many changes have been taking place in the whole country. Mr. President sacked all the service chiefs. Just yesterday, the Minister of Defense resigned, and Mr. President declared state of emergency on the securities, ordered immediate recruitment of over 50,000 policemen and what have you. So I believe when it goes to the Senate, definitely they won't waste much time, because both the Senate and the House of Rep last week they dedicated the whole week discussing about this issue of insecurity, and I appreciate the way the National Assembly entirely, irrespective of politics, irrespective of religion, whatever, we all came together discussing and trying to find the lasting solution of this issue. I also want to call on government for this issue of negotiation with bandits. It's never a viable idea. It's never a viable idea. You cannot negotiate with somebody bearing arms, somebody who is not ready to disarm his weapons, somebody who is not ready to surrender his weapons, and at the end of the day, the same person is the one dictating the terms and conditions of the negotiation. So what kind of negotiation are you talking about? It's only a short-term relief, because at the end of the day, they are using that peace deal to regroup, to arrange themselves, then they come back with full force, killing and attacking people. Especially anytime you see they are pushing for that kind of negotiation, so that time the security agencies is giving them much pressure. They are attacking them on daily basis. When they see that the security agencies are about to get to them, they now start yelling and calling for. They are ready for negotiation and this. And when they come for the negotiation, you see them carrying their weapons, bragging, mocking, and they are only using the avenue to address the local communities, to incite more fear into their minds. That's exactly what they are doing. So I'm calling on the federal government. They should look critically into this issue. As a matter of urgency, I am appealing to Mr. President to discuss this issue of this kind of negotiation. It's not yielding any positive result. At the end of the day, as usual, to my constraints, they should keep playing, and God willing, whatever has the beginning must surely has an end. We believe that this is our trying time in this country as a whole, and we believe we are going to overcome it. Definitely, I have that in mind. Definitely, because nothing lasts forever. there is so many series of incidents that happen to this country. They now all become history. Also, this one definitely it will become history. God willing, we'll keep pushing, we'll keep fighting for them, and we'll be there for them all the time. God willing.
The House of Representatives has also called on the federal government to urgently fast-track all procurement processes under the Nigerian Police Trust Fund to support the security state of emergency declared by President Bola Tinubu. The decision followed a motion of urgent public importance by Honorable Victor Obozo, who noted that despite increased funding, now 1% of the Federation accounts, critical police equipment and logistics remain stalled by bureaucratic delays. Obozo warned that rising terrorism, banditry, kidnappings, and one-chance attacks require faster deployment of vehicles, communication tools, protective gear, and other operational essentials. The House urged the Minister of Finance, Accountant General, Permanent Secretary of Finance, Director of Funds, Budget Office, and BPPDG to accelerate tenders, evaluations, and contract approvals.
The House is concerned that the red tape delays and bureaucratic bottlenecks in the procurement and distribution process of essential equipment, this presidential pronouncement, and inevitably affect negatively ability of the Nigerian police force to respond swiftly and effectively to emergent security threats.
In a separate motion, the House adopted a motion of urgent public importance moved by Oboku Ofoji, urging the Federal Ministry of Education to rescind its recent curriculum review that removed key Let's take a breather here, and on the flip side, we'll look at more unfolding of legislative proceedings before its adjournment. It's good to have you back. Senate has rejected a bill seeking to establish a National Ethics and Reconciliation Commission. The bill, sponsored by Senator Anthony Ani of Ebonyi South, was turned down at the second reading during plenary.
The bill, sponsored by Senator Anthony Ani of Ebonyi South, was turned down at its second reading during plenary.
And that's the much we can take on this edition of the program. See you next week on the Parliament, on Global Television, on DSTV channel 365, and on Star Times channel 276. To stay connected, kindly follow us across all our social media platforms using @Global TV NG. Thank you to my production team. Until the next time, I am Annie T. Patrick. Have a lovely day ahead of you.